Okay, looks that we're live. That's cool. So, yeah, welcome everybody to the Hacksprint here, the Fulmo Hacksprint, the third one we're doing. So, maybe for everybody that's new, I wanted to give you a little bit an introduction, what it's all about. But the main thing you will find, or all the information you need, you'll find on the wiki. And let's go to the wiki, and this is what I'm trying to show you. It's wiki.fulmo.org. And you find all the information there. That's your starting point for the hack day. So what's the idea of the hack sprint? Because normally we did a hack day where we met in person and we shared all the developments that were happening, and people are excited about what's happening in Bitcoin and Lightning. And but of course nowadays we're doing online events, and so we came up with the hack sprint. And the idea of the hack sprint is like to have a weekend almost once a month where kind of projects in the Lightning area come together and invite other people to kind of get productive, get the project a step forward, or even come up with new ideas. So new people can see what other projects are out there and maybe get inspired what they're missing, and can add this project or their idea to it, or just discuss ideas. So it's just about getting the community together, get the whole ecosphere a step forward from the development kind of view. But this doesn't mean that this event is just for programmers. Because yes, normally we look very much closely on code and projects, but every project needs to have feedback from people testing it, giving saying what they need in their life, what they are missing, what features they are missing, and what other kind of ideas maybe are out there and need to be addressed. And so even new ideas can spring up, and even a lot of other feedback from non-programmers is very needed here. And so feel welcome to just join us and get an overview and see maybe where you fit in. So this is really just it's also not a hackathon and this kind of idea that you really have to work on a project 24/7. It's more of a hop in and hop out event. So don't feel pressured to sit all weekend on your laptop here. If you have something to do over the weekend, sure, there are other stuff to do. Sometimes the sun is shining. Get out an hour and get some sun, but then come back and push this project forward. So we are on the wiki. So what do we see on the wiki here? First of all, this time schedule. This is the basic time schedule for the weekend. So we already did the warm-up. You missed nothing if you didn't join. It was more like to say hello and maybe ask some last questions. And we're now into the kickoff. This is the kind of starting point for the hack sprint, where I try to give you an overview and get everybody started. And then it's really up to you to join the project and get active and exchange and to communicate. And then we will have a wrap up. So we will kind of see on Sunday at 8 p.m. Berlin time. Check your local times maybe here, because there are people from other time zones. Always think all times here are Berlin time on the wiki, but make sure to translate that into your local time. And on Sunday on 8, we will see what progress was made, what ideas were discussed, and we will do this in a kind of wrap-up session to see what was happening. Also, this live stream is recorded, so you can, even if you joined late to the hack sprint, you can watch a recording or let people know that joined late. There is the recording here. So this live stream link will be later the recording link, so you will get all the information, even if you join later on. There is already the time schedule as a self-organized sessions here that you can see a little bit more detailed events, but we will take a look later on. Most important, how do you join? You're on the wiki, that's great. The next step would be to join our Fulmo MetaMost, what is more like an open source Slack. So this is where we communicate and chat, where all the projects are hanging out in groups and coordinating together. So this is definitely, if you haven't signed up for the MetaMost yet, this is the place to go and sign up. And then we have a Fulmo Jitsi instance here. So Jitsi is an open source video conferencing tool. It's hosted on our servers, so and you can use it freely. And it's because chat is cool, because you can coordinate a lot of things by chat. but sometimes it just helps to jump into a video conference and just maybe clear some stuff a little bit face to face. Show, and even you can screen share there too. So if you want to show something you built, or maybe in the code where you have a problem or something, that the Jitsi is a very cool tool for you to discuss on code and ideas, and use it then for your self-organized sessions, for example, that we will take a look later on. But the main focus here are the kind of challenges. This is a list of like ideas and smaller problems that the projects want to work on. So let's take a look at this. So we go into channels, into challenges, and as you can see, we have quite a good list here of projects participating, and invite you to take a look at them and see if there's a fit for you in those projects. So, and I try to give you an overview. One project that's kind of always part of this Hacksprint is the Raspberry Blitz, because I'm also kind of the lead developer there, together with a bunch of people like OpenArms and Frankie that we're working on, and on this little node that you can run on your Raspberry Pi. It's a good start for if you really want to get the experience of running the hardware and the Lightning infrastructure, and it invites you very much then to install other kind of scripts and apps that are a lot of here from the projects are here. You can install, for example, on the Raspberry Blitz, and then have a kind of computer running there that you can develop on and help those projects. So this is a good starting point for everybody that has the idea of getting a full node running. What is special about this Hacksprint? I just released the from the version 1.6, the release candidate 1. So everybody that has a Raspberry Blitz already out there, and you can play with it. So it's not your production node, it's your kind of testing and development node. Feel free to download the new image, test it out, and give feedback. So this is one thing very appreciated, to test all the features and help on the testing, so that we can get it step by step to the final version, what hopefully comes within this month. In the next kind of weeks, we will get into a final version here. Especially OpenArms likes to join you on finishing the GUI for the join market, to make it easier to interact with join market. So if you're interested even in join market, this is something where you can meet and ask OpenArms how to work on that. I will this time a little bit beside catching all the feedbacks and the other projects input, I will try to or invite everybody to see how we can, now that we have this Raspberry Blitzes running at our home and we use it for personal use, how we can more and more get into this, use it for friends and family, and use it maybe even within your local community to spear adoption and get into the education. So I will have a self-organized session about this later on. So that is something to check out if you're interested in that. There's a video a little bit helping you how to get started with developing on your Raspberry Blitz. And of course, and this is true for all the projects that are coming up here, if you're interested in the project, you just join the group chat that is on the Mattermost for this project. And don't hesitate to join. It's totally okay to just join in there, ask a question, and leave. So you don't commit, you're not getting I'm committing to this project for the whole Hacksprint. No, just feel free to get in there. If you have a question, go into the chat room, ask there, and everybody will be happy to point you into the right direction. A second project, and this is something very, very nicely developed over the Hacksprints, is the IP2Tor tunnel service. So in the past Hacksprints, Frankie and Amzi and other people were trying to figure out how can we maybe bridge the gap between Tor and the IP world, because not everybody out there is able to run Tor, or it's difficult for them to run Tor. So this is a tunnel bridge that you can use, and especially for the Raspberry Blitz now, we integrated this with the new release candidate, with the upcoming version, so that you can easily use this service. And there is also Frankie built on the last Hacksprint a Django chop system around it. So you can see this really growed over the Hacksprints, and this is definitely something that very nice. If you have a Raspberry Blitz, for example, to test this feature out, give feedback on this, and even see where we can go and what we need to optimize there. There will also be a self-organized session today at 3. We'll give you a little bit more detail on that if you just want to take a look. And then it's very great, and this is really something also for the non-programmers out there. This is there's a book being written, the Mastering the Lightning Network, and it's from the O'Reilly. It will be published at O'Reilly, so it's a great resource for a lot of developers in the future out there that want to learn about Lightning. And this book is already on GitHub. This is an open process of creating this book. And the authors, and I think everybody knows Andreas Antonopoulos or Rosebeef, are working on the L&D implementation, or Renee doing academic research. Those authors block time over the weekend to be in the chat room available for you and invite you really to go in there and participate. And you can really just participate in reading what's out there and give feedback on this, like what is complicated, what's boring, what's maybe where's something missing, or you can write it better. This is definitely something where you can give input there. Also on the structure, examples, pictures, what can be better, what topics are missing. So like you go through the list and say, oh, I really would need somebody explaining me this topic a little bit more to get started with Lightning. So this is really, really nice from the authors blocking this weekend and being there for you. And the funny thing is, really, like normally in these books, and I know it from past publications, if you commit to the GitHub here, so if you commit a change, you maybe just corrected a typo. So this could be a chance to be mentioned in the credits there, and yeah, like put your name a little bit in there for history. So no, just maybe just it's an opportunity you should not miss out this weekend. And then there's the project, the Quickening. The Quickening is a point of sale hardware that we use at Room 77, the bar where you can pay with Bitcoin and Lightning on Lightning. So and it's an open source project built on a development hardware. There's still some stuff from user feedback or from the experience we had at Room 77 that needs to be improved. So it's built on the M5 stack platform. If you're a little bit into Arduino coding, that's definitely something here for you to check out. And also still, M5 stacks are very nice little gadgets to play with. There's also the Bowser do-it-yourself hardware wallet. So you can just take this development kit there and just go there and make a hardware wallet from it, like a do-it-yourself thing. So this is something here from Ben. He likes I think at this stage it's more like an invitation to install it and try it out. But for sure, you're absolutely free to say, oh, I'm missing this feature, give feedback on this, or even jump into the coding here. So here's a video to watch for you if you want to see it in action. And then there's of course a channel to communicate on this project. Then we have Alan Bitts. Alan Bitts develops nicely over the kind of months. The idea a little bit is that normally if you run a node or you have an account somewhere where you manage your Lightning, it's just this one account. And Alan Bitts helps you to kind of chop it into smaller accounts, and then with the smaller accounts you can have more. You can have kind of even an instant wallet that the people have on their phones. So it's a very, very easy way to onboard people. It's a web interface. And yeah, you're very invited to program on this because there's a plugin system, so you can very easily integrate your idea into this. So wherever you think about you want to run your node or you run your one account and you want to share it with people, and then this is something on the Alan Bitts side. And there's even for programming a plugin, there is some bounties out there that you can gain. We will look into the bounties a little bit later in detail. And then there is the Vicki Lightning Spam Protection. This is a little bit of project coming from us, from the organizer side, kind of a wish list. We have it in there for, I think, since the first Hacksprint. I think we haven't seen somebody really jumping on it, but we really hope somebody will do it at one time. Because as you can see, this Vicki over here is kind of a basic organization tool for us. And we had on the first Hacksprint, we had some spam attacks. So people were just kind of putting spam in there. So we had to put some password protection in there. What is not nice, because now we have to communicate everybody before anybody can edit our Vicki. It is it would be nice to have another solution there, and it would be great if you can have a Vicki plugin so that somebody has to pay with with Lightning, pay some Satoshis for an edit on a wiki. This would give automatically a kind of protection. And if somebody really wants to deface our wiki and delete big portions of it, yeah, if this person pays a lot of Satoshis for this, I think it's worse than to reverse that change and keep the Satoshis. So this is, if you're a little bit into MediaWiki and know how to build a plugin on that, the wiki spam protection is really something we're looking at. Would be nice to join. We will assist you on this. If you have interest in this, join the chat channel. Then an idea that developed on the last Hacksprint, and this time is a real challenge for you to pick up, is building an interface for a standard banking software, because there is a standard called FinTS. It's a standard that's used for bookkeeping software to communicate with your bank accounts, but it's an open standard. So and it would be nice if you can just have run your Lightning node or your Lightning account that you have somewhere, and have it really supporting this FinTS standard, so that you can manage and bookkeep your account like a normal bank account, where you keep kind of foreign currency in there. So this is definitely something that would help a lot of merchants out there that like to use Lightning on Bitcoin, but they fear a little bit that it's getting too complicated for their bookkeeping. So when you call your bookkeeper and say, "Oh, we want to handle this Bitcoin thing," a lot of people are like, "What?" And so delivering such a standards interface would ease, I think, a lot of pain for a lot of bookkeepers out there, because there are companies out there that needs to have this all good in their books to accept Bitcoin and Lightning. So if you're interested in this one, there's even a bounty on here you can catch if you deliver kind of a prototype for it. This would be awesome. So if you're a little bit into standardization and building integrating standards and APIs, take a look at this one. Really appreciate it. And one project we love a lot is also the do-it-yourself Lightning Coin ATM. And just because the pictures say more, I think, than just telling about it. Here's the picture of it. So it's a do-it-yourself coin ATM. The idea is like you put fiat coins in there and you get Satoshis out. So this is and you can build it completely by yourself and put it up in a place for your local community where you think it makes sense. So, and this time there is a new documentation up here. So this documentation is brand new and I think very, very pretty. And everybody is invited to, first of all, of course, maybe look into the opportunity to how to build this, ask your questions how to build this, or give feedback on the documentation, what you still think could be better to build this project. Build this documentation better. There's also some programming stuff you can do to check out the issues here on the project. Normally we do with kind of all projects, we invite them, if they have a GitHub, they can put up the challenges, the detailed challenges as an issue there, mark it with hackathon, and all those hackathon issues are kind of pre-selected from the project maintainers that they think are suitable for you to join and work on. So definitely here something to work on, and again, here's the channel if you want to join. This time also we have the Zeus app. The Zeus app is for your smartphone and enables you to remote control your Lightning node and have a mobile wallet like on your phone and have kind of your node running at home, so you can do the payment stuff and you get all the good kind of UI you expect from an app. So this is like working on the front end side. So if this is TypeScript and reactive based, so if you have experience in that direction and you like to work on this, very happy here to work on the issues. Then we have WeNode, and this is also a project a little bit like the Vicki thing. It's the idea from Stefan, so that you can use an old Android phone and maybe turn it into a full node. Because a lot of hardware is out there, a lot of old Android phones are out there. It would be great if there's an easy way to utilize those old hardware and make it easy for people to run a phone node on this. So this is the WeNode project, and Stefan I think he's not available all the time in the chat room. So so maybe just try to ping him up and he's very happy to get feedback on this. Like a little missed participation in the last kind of Hacksprints, but also, and this is the thing, not every project needs to join to have people joining. It's also a lot of time a good excuse for the programmers themselves or for the programming team to meet up here and just program away. So, but if you want to join, definitely ask Stefan here in the chat room to how you can get set it up and turn your old Android phone into a full node. And then we have also a continued project. So last time we were seeing a prototype where you can make easy donations to dependencies on your Ruby project. So maybe for background, normally if you program software, you don't build everything from scratch. You use other people's work. We're living in an open source ecosystem here, and you use libraries from other people. And for here example, in the Ruby world, you have those Ruby gems, those where your libraries. So you pick all your libraries and then you build your project on top. But normally, and this is the point, we want to give donations forward. So if somebody donates to your project in some kind of way, you maybe want to have an easy way to also push some of those donations further to all the other projects you're building on. So this is, and there was a prototype here. You can take a look here from the last Hacksprint. So this is more command line way to do it. And here this time, as far as I can see, the idea is to give this now a better front end, or a front end that is more easy for people to use. So supporting open source development and delivering tools to really distribute donations. And Lightning is definitely a good way for that. So check this out one if you want to help open source programmers getting funded and delivering tools for that. Then we have also a new project here. It's the PyBlock. So it's a collection of Py scripts that make it offer you some more functionalities with managing a node. So helping you on information, on transactions, send messages even to space. So there is some integration for the satellite project where you can receive blockchain information from the satellite and send messages over that. So there is some integration there. So take a look. The developer is maybe just available on Sunday, but has also an open session there, a self-organized session. So if you just want to jump in for a shorter time and check out the self-organized session, it's more like a chat event, but to give you a little bit more picture of how this works, the programmer put up some videos on the chat channel on YouTube, so you can get an idea even if you don't install it. If you just want to get a quick overview of how the usage looks like, what the feature set looks like, you can check out the videos and of course the GitHub, and then you have the opportunity on Sunday to maybe see if there's something you can do, because this is a Python thing. You think you can start very small with some Python scripts, and so this is a good thing for Python programmers to jump in here. Then we have also an ongoing project that's very ambitious. It's like to building a complete new Lightning implementation on Rust. To have the goals to have it more modular and have it in the Rust world. So if you're into Rust programming, so again, this is a little bit more for the programmers, but also it helps because a lot of standards are implemented here. If you're interested in like looking at the standards of Lightning, the protocol, and then see how it translates into programming, this is a good place for you to hang out, connect with the rest of the team here that's pushing constantly progress out here on every Hacksprint. So if you're into the Rust area, something for you to go. Then we have the Send Many app. Fusion 44 is, I think, also just available on Sunday, but it's a little bit like the Zeus app, that it's an app that you can connect to your full node, and it has the specialty that's very, very nice, and we even made it working on the last Hacksprints. We integrated it into the Raspberry Blitz, that you can use it for messaging over Lightning. So there's also, so you can use it as a normal remote wallet, but there's also the messaging part of it here. So there's still some issues to work on. So this is more relaxed thing to take a look and then connect with the developer on Sunday and see what's going on here. And again, to maybe emphasize at this moment, it's not reduced to just work on those projects over the weekend. This should be all an opportunity to connect those to those projects, and then maybe even work between Hacksprints on your own and further on those issues, and feel very freely. If you programmed something between Hacksprints to present your results here, you can use the self-organized sessions for that. So don't just get this feeling it's just for the weekend. It's really a continuous process, and we just want to put some focus here on the weekend. Then there's the Omnibolt. I'm not so familiar with this project, but as far as I can see, it's a specification on top that can work on top of Lightning and gives you the possibility to have their crypto assets there and providing more flexibility with contracts. So maybe a little bit a layer 3 technology here that's developing. So if this is something also interested for you, so check out their specification, and of course they're here available for you to give all your the feedback or you answer your questions. And yeah, just if you're interested in those asset managing and having a layer 3 development here, check out the Omnibolt. So this is kind of the projects we have at the moment, but still it's not a big problem to say, oh, okay, now I just have an idea or I just heard about this. You can still add your project. You can edit again the Vicki. It's normal, like just edit here, use the edit buttons and put it there. You need the password to edit. So at the moment, so hit on Jeff or on me on the MetaMost, and we will help to set you up and still add your project here. So that's not a problem. Okay, so these were the challenges we have this time for you. Let's take a look at the self-organized sessions, because this is kind of beside the challenges. This is the kind of surrounding events that we have for you, and then we should not forget about the bounties, but we'll make this after this one. Okay, so we have the first self-organized session. I will give an introduction at 3 today to show you a little bit more the IP2Tor tunnel subscriptions that we now integrated into the Raspberry Blitz. This was the one big new feature that we added we will adding for the new 1.6 release, and it also can show you a little bit what else is in the new upcoming release. But I want to give you an overview why we do it and how we integrated it, and definitely like your feedback on this if there's something still we should improve or make better or more open. So this is something for you to check out at 3. Normally you can see like the self-organized sessions have here a link to, so they have a time. It's all Berlin time. So again, think about like translating this into your local region, local time zone, and you just join the Jitsi call here. So you go into the video room. Normally you're very free to say hello here, but if it's a presentation, make sure to mute your microphone, and you can also turn off your video to save on bandwidth for people if you're not actively want to present or tell something. So yeah, and everybody that wants still to do a self-organized session, you just can set up a room on Jitsi. Let us know about the time, the title, and we can either you edit, put it into the Wiki with the password, or you just let us know and we put it in there here for you. Or if you want to know what may be a good time, we can assist on this to find it. So first event happening on 3 today. Then at 4 we have the discussion and show of the Thunder Hub. Thunder Hub is a managing dashboard for your node. So we have it now also integrated into the Raspberry Blitz. So you can, if you want to play with it, you can use the 1.6 release candidate 1. There's a Thunder Hub. With a click, you can install the Thunder Hub there and to really try it out on your Raspberry Blitz. But here, if you just want to take a look, just join this self-organized session, and you will get a good overlook what features are in there to manage your node, to get node statistics and other integrations that are available on Thunder Hub. Then we have at 5, we have a Lightning Reading Club. I think this is a very, very open round where maybe the idea is how to get a Lightning Reading Club started. I know there are some reading clubs out there for other topics, so it's more like the idea to meet up and kind of together read through some documents, something you'd like, you present, or then there can be a discussion about it. So it's a light way to, even for people that are now not that deep into technical, not even programming. I think it will be technical at some point, but definitely something more on the academic, more concept side. So join here with Sergey on at 5. Then today at 6, I will do Raspberry Blitz for local community action. So this is the idea that I said before a little bit, like now that we have the hardware out there, we run those nodes, how can we make them more useful for onboarding, educating our local communities, especially if you see like we're getting more and more into the area that people want to opt out of a financial system they have at the moment, and it's not working for them, it's kind of working more against them. So this is the idea now. How can we use it in a decentralized way? How can we support, we as running a little bit more tech savvy people, how can we then help the rest of the community to play with this stuff and set up a decentralized structure that we can give an opt-out option here. And yeah, there's some ideas. It's an early concept phase, but very much appreciated input, especially if you're not a programmer and you have a good look into a social kind of community side. So definitely something I recommend. Yeah, I like it. I do it. So yeah. Okay. Then we have on Sunday, so this is the tomorrow kind of schedules that are already in there, is also the PyBlock, as I was saying before. So the programmer will be available on Sunday, and at 1 there will be the opportunity to go into a chat session. So this is not a Jitsi, this is a kind of chat session, so where you can really have a focused time to maybe look into this project and ask questions about it. Just and connect and see even if you didn't on Saturday jumped in, there's on Sunday still time to jump into such a project. And it's always a good start to chat, to start with such a self-organized session. Yeah, so, and I'm very delighted to have this on Sunday at 3. We have MZ Tutor, I hope I get your name right, he's evangelizing a lot and organizing a lot in Africa and Nigeria in the Bitcoin and Lightning space, and they got out the space box. It's a kind of modified Raspberry Blitz, like a set for people, specialized, customized to run for Africa. So I think there's even the solar powered part to it. So it's a good idea to have kind of a specialized setup for a node that you can run in areas like Africa. So that's very interesting to he will give us a deeper look into the project, what is the goals there, and of course I think it's very good, I think, for programmers to see what when stuff get implemented into the real world or gets implemented there, what maybe are still the pain points we need to optimize on. And this is definitely something I recommend very much at 3. And maybe we as a programmer community out here can see some of those pain points still in this project, and then maybe for the next Hacksprints, or even just in personal communication or with people, really bringing those technology to the streets, help them and fix a bug, add a feature that is needed. So this is definitely something I'm looking forward to. And still, this is not the finished list. This is just a list of self-organized session as it is. You will always find the last times or the times on here on the Vicki. So, and again, you're very much invited to put up your self-organized sessions yourself. That's why the name is that. So, and we help you if you need any help in setting it up. We're here for you. So, and even for every project out there, sometimes it really helps to say, oh, come on, let's do a self-organized session to give everybody that just wants to take a look, an overview of what we're doing and where exactly more the points are to jump in, or especially maybe more on Sunday. If you already got something finished on Saturday or before, like you just want to demo it a little bit more in detail and get feedback on it on this one, this is the time to set up a self-organized session and put it here, and we will try to help you announce it to the rest of the crowd. All right, so last point, and this is not the most important part, but I think it's more like the sugar on the cake. are the bounties. So the bounties are the idea to give a little bit an incentive maybe to work on a project. It's a way for people that are maybe not a programmer themselves, or not, or want a solution with a programming language that they're not familiar with and would love to see another programmer work on this, or need for their programming need maybe a library or something. So this is definitely something where you can set a bounty and say, and bounty doesn't need to be Bitcoin. It could be anything you like. So what you think fits the purpose. So for example, I have here the Schnapps bounty. It's more like it's a real bounty, but it's more like the idea of to show you it can be done in a different way. The idea is like in room 77, I told you we have this point of sale, the quickening, and there are still stuff that needs to be improved, and would be great to see this. And so the idea is like if everybody gets some work done on such of those issues, the bounty will be we will get a free snaps the next time the room 77 is open again. At the moment it's closed, but we hope we will have it open again, and then you get a free snaps from me. Or even if you're not into alcohol drinks, we can find some alternatives, no problem. So this is something at the room 77 Bitcoin meetup. If you get something done and you're there, I will make sure you drink something for free. Then there is the Ellen Bits bounty. This is by Ben. So I think the one was catch. So there's still two to catch. So if you build a plugin on the Ellen Bits system, there is a 0.02 Bitcoin to grab. So if you're saying, oh, I wanted to do this anyway, maybe this incentivizes you a little bit more. Then we have the spam bounty. This is the bounty we as I was telling, like there's the Vicki spam protection we would wish to have. So we as organizers were saying, come on, this is worth some satoshis if somebody delivers this. So if somebody can build us this plugin for MediaWiki, and so that we can add it easily here in our MediaWiki, and that's a bounty for you. And then a new bounty added. So there's the FinTS server bounty. So this is what I was telling before. If merchants would like to have this integration to make it easy for their bookkeeping, and if somebody can create, and again, this doesn't need to be finished during this weekend. So even if you finish this after the weekend and you just get started on the weekend, once you get this finished, contact us. And if you get a prototype running for that at least implements a subset of the FinTS standard, so that you can start to so that it shows up in the bookkeeping software. And if you say I don't have a bookkeeping software, then take a look at the issue. There are some even open source bookkeeping softwares you can work with to try it out. So if somebody gets this working, there's a bounty here from 0.03 Bitcoin there. If you can show a working prototype, and that shows how we can go forward with this. So these are the bounties. So I think I gave you a kind of good overview of what's here to do. Of course, this is just everything is just something we offer to you to work on. You can also just hang out over the weekend in the chat rooms, talk with people, or just join the self-organized sessions to get a look. So again, this is an offering from us, and it worked great the last kind of times. So I'm very confident that we will have a good weekend. And if you have any questions left, jump into the Mattermost, and we are there for the chat for you to answer the questions. So I wish everybody a great weekend. We will see us again in the live stream for the wrap up, and of course here and there in the self-organized sessions, and of course on the Mattermost. So see you around, and till then.